Welcome back to the show, everyone. It's Doug Devitre with Belize, Keller Williams, in the country of Belize. So we're going to bring our good friend on, Macarena. Macarena, how are you today, my dear?
It's a Thursday. It's a beautiful Thursday, and I get to be on with you. So nothing wrong with that for sure.
Oh my gosh. Well, in Belize right now, it's a slow time, right? September 1st. It's a little slow. People are starting to gear up for the busy season. What are some of the things that you're seeing right now?
Well, we have two big holidays coming up, and one of them is September 10th celebrations and our Independence Day on the 21st. Can't get wrong about either one of those. And for sure, Independence Day in Belize on the 21st is a big thing. Celebrations everywhere, parades everywhere, lots of excitement. We're a baby new country, right?
Yeah, no, was it? Tell me the year. It was the 1980s, right? When Belize gained its independence.
Yes, and what's really neat about that is in my mind, it's kind of like the U.S. Coming from the U.S., being born in the U.S. We think of it's a country that's been around forever and lots of things like that, but we really are young in the States, even, right? Considered, compared to European countries, a lot of countries around the world, we're still young. But Belize literally got their independence on the 21st of September, 1981.
Yeah. No, it's really interesting. I've noticed in the calendar there's a lot of national holidays coming up, and also tourists are starting to book their travel for the winter and also spring break. So that's something that I know that we've been getting a lot of requests for, as far as what to do, what tours to take. Do we start off on Ambergris Key, or do we head out to, or do we visit San Ignacio? Like, where do we start?
You do it all. You do it all. Come on, let's think about it. I mean, over a decade ago, when you first came to Belize, you got to do it all. You got to do caves. You got to do ruins. Good old river tubing. Not bad there, huh?
Yeah. In fact,
go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, the ATM caves. That's one of the most popular tours here. Now you can't take your camera with you, right? They forbid you to take cameras. And I think it was back in 2009 when I visited. I've got those still photos, and I believe I had one of those disposable water cameras, right? I don't even have the water camera. I didn't even have an iPhone back then.
Do they even make those anymore? Yes, I guess they do. But our phones are now waterproof, for goodness sakes. But that goes back to one of the things I really truthfully appreciate so much about Belize, like, our ruins, like, over my head right here, that you can walk through them and it's just different kind of feeling. But we protect. Belize is really awesome about protecting the barrier reef. And, for example, the ATM cave, some people are like, I want to take pictures. Well, you know what? Sometimes if you're always behind the camera and taking pictures, you're not fully present. And so what happens is you literally are free of any, phone, internet, taking pictures, all that stuff, because you can't take it in the cave anyway, and literally get to just enjoy the experience. So tell me, you've done it both ways. What is your impression?
I like a variety, right? I like the variety of being able to explore the adventure, through the caves and through the rivers. But I also like being on the island, right? I like the different water activities, snorkeling. I haven't gotten PADI certified yet, but that's on the list. And speaking of which, a lot of these tours are booked with businesses, and I'm super excited to, in a few minutes here, to bring on Michael Young. He's the executive director of the Belize American Chamber of Commerce. Before we bring him on, we've got some things to share, but I want you to give a little bit of a background about Michael before we bring him on.
Well, he is an absolutely incredibly wonderful, passionate speaker about Belize. Born and raised. So I always consider I'm really passionate about Belize, but again, I didn't learn about Belize until my adult life. So when you grow up in a country, you have a whole nother frame of reference, and we're going to look for some funny stories he can share with us for sure about growing up in Belize and the difference of also, living in the United States in comparison wise. But, he's really driven about bringing industry and helping Belizeans, succeed in Belize and having good relationships with the United States, et cetera, and the North Americas, of course, not just the US, but to make sure that that opportunity is for all Belizeans to really be able to scale. And how do we really grow any business? It's about getting outside of just our small little area and having other people around the whole world know about us. And Belize used to be the best kept secret. Well, he's part of the reason that Belize isn't such a kept secret. And that's a great thing because it really helps Belize succeed when we can get foreign investment and things coming into
Yeah.
Belize. Our tourism, it literally is our number one, right? It's number one, as far as generating income for the country. So we want to protect that and make sure there's good networking and resources for business owners. So yeah, excited about having him on the show for sure.
Well, I think there's a lot of opportunities for businesses to thrive, right? There's a lot of I mean, open land where you can start your own farm, you can start your own Airbnb, you can start your own activities because of the diversity of the land. Like you could even buy land that has its own river on it and run tours off of that river, right?
There are a lot of different things you can do. And one of the things that's really important is that Belize is a foreign country. So it's not the same of coming from, the North Americas, Europe, whatever. It's completely different. And I really love that Michael specifically can help bridge those differences because he knows the US mindset. He knows, he's done university and schooling in the US. So he has all of that. He also knows about Belize growing up in Belize. So he has a great mixture of having compassion and grace when you're doing things in Belize and how to also get things done in a different manner that both sides can speak together really well. We're always
Yeah,
better, stronger together.
absolutely. And as our job as a real estate company, in this type of market is we have to, okay, number one, we have to sell Central America, right? Because you could move anywhere in the world. Central America is the destination, but we also have to sell Belize. And so I know a lot of the marketing that we're doing and the campaigns, the infographics, the book that we're writing, the videos that we're creating are all trying to drive economic investment into Belize and really improve the transparency in the process. Because even if you just go to a Facebook group or you go into a LinkedIn group and you ask a question, you're going to get so many different answers. I believe it's our responsibility, right? It's our responsibility to set the record straight and tell the narrative on why, because you've done this, right? You started what, 18 years ago, and you've successfully made that happen.
Yeah, almost 19 years ago. And my blessing was as I never thought I was smarter than anybody else. So what happened was when I moved to Belize, I had very good people, a handful of very good people give me very good advice. And I did not think I was smarter than them. They live in the country, some were from the country and some were expats. So I took their good advice, followed and listened. And that was the reason I actually was able to then help many other people do the same thing successfully that listen, right? For sure. And, when you tell them certain things like, go to immigration and go with a kind heart, don't go pushy. For goodness sakes, don't go pushy because Belize is not a pushy country.
Yeah.
We like everyone to get along, right? Even if you don't really care for someone, you still want to get along with them, right? It's a small country. And that's one of the things I really appreciate about Belize is that they learn to just get along with everybody. Cultures, races, people, we're all the same, for God's sakes. We might as well get along.
Yeah, no kidding. That's that cultural. It's not just the business intelligence, but more importantly, the cultural intelligence. So you know how to show up for people, right? It's not so much what you know, but it's also how you approach people as well.
Very much so. And, I always say that, people are very smart. They always watch. They may not say, but they watch.
Yeah.
So, is your attitude worth catching, right? And that's what they say. Their attitudes are contagious. Is it worth catching? Well, Belizeans want to be around happy people and good people because that's, they're happy, right?
Yeah.
So, it's just, I want to be around happy, for goodness sake. So I get it, right?
Sure. Well, one of the things that I wanted to point out to everybody watching is the campaign that we're doing to support local businesses in Belize. So if we if you go to the website, ibuybelize.com/businesses, you'll be able to sign up for this opportunity where we will promote your business for free. You know, one of the things that we did is last month is went out to San Pedro Island and interviewed business owners. We kind of give them 1 minute pitch on why people should come there. And it was really awesome to see kind of how, you know, first they started off nervous and then they nailed it, right? So we were able to record that on video. And here's what I want to show you. This is on the page here right now on ibuybelize.com/trusted businesses. So if you see here, you can actually see this directory. It's almost like the yellow pages of interviews. And if you go on here, I'll just click on here, one right here. This is the Akbo Yoga Retreat and Eco Resort. If I click on this, you actually be able to play this video inside of a web base. And if this is too small to see, you can just click on this larger version and you can see this kind of in a database type of format. So this is something that was really I believe important to supporting local businesses. And the more we kind of learn to support one another, I believe the more effective we're going to be at attracting more people to come and visit Belize, right? We're kind of humanizing the country.
I like that. It's a country of people, for goodness sakes, and animals, right? So yeah, humanize is good.
Yeah. So let's get into bringing Michael on. I know he's gonna turn his camera on, so that we can give him the proper introduction. Macarena, would you mind giving Michael the introduction so we can bring him on?
Well, absolutely. So everybody, welcome to Michael Young to the show. I am passionate about this man's vision of helping Belize grow, for goodness sakes. He does it tirelessly, for sure, and is now doing another thing with a bank that we're going to talk about that too, if he wants to talk about that. We're going to give him a platform to chat and share more about it. And just congratulations and kudos, because I always say good people know good people, right? It's just the facts, right? And when very good people do very good things, you have to give them a platform and let them, you know, literally share what they're doing, because many good people are shy and they're not going to shout for themselves. So I'm shouting for Mr. Michael Young, because what he is doing is breathtaking for Belize and really a privilege to help grow the country. And so honored to see this happen with you. Hello, Michael. Welcome.
Hi, welcome. Thank you, guys. Can you hear me well?
Thank you for joining me. Can you hear me okay?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you great. I just want to make sure that you guys can hear me. Good.
We hear you perfectly. And thank you so much for taking time out of your very busy schedule. We really appreciate it. And really hats off to you. If I had a hat on, I would be bowing to you for all the hard work that you tirelessly do. I see you all over the place. I've seen you in DC, for God's sakes, all over US and Belize. And really passionate. You got to tell me the story. You grew up in Belize.
Yeah, I was born and raised. But first of all, let me do some house cleaning. Doug,
do some house cleaning.
Devitre, thank you very much for giving us access to your platform. This is awesome. On behalf of my team, because it's not just me, right? People usually see me, but I have as Macarena saw in DC, we got a bunch of lionesses in the jungle behind me, right? Love Macarena's energy. Love your guys' energy. Love what you're doing. You guys have shown and proven to be committed to Belize. You guys drank the water, right? In Belize, we call it the Omagarugu water, right? So you guys are honorary Belizeans. And to follow up on what you guys are saying, it's all about collaborative, right? It's all about a collaborative approach. It's about finding those who play well in the sandbox with others, right? With all of us. So, this is thank you very much. I'm happy to be here. Humbled, appreciate it, and let's dig in. Let's dig into some good content and some good stories. Let's share.
Thank you for that. Well, great housekeeping. We're going to bring you on every week to do that housekeeping. That was lovely.
Thank you.
And so one of the things that I had shared about, that you had obviously born in Belize, right? So you're Belizean, and you also have the U.S. connection for sure. Did you go to U.S. when you went to college?
Well, the funny thing is that there's a saying in Belize, or there's a saying that when the U.S. sneezes, Belize catches a cold, right? So that's like a great, that's one that I've carried around, where we're so tied to the U.S. economy. We're so tied to, we follow U.S. politics, culture and so forth, even though we're a British colony. So a lot of us in Belize, or many of us, or some of us, have had the privilege of being able to travel to the U.S. during summer, during Christmas, to visit family, wherever they have migrated to, whether it's through the roads of Mexico all the way on the west coast of California, or flying, landing in New York or Texas, or and now Florida is a hotbed for our Belizeans. But yes, I was lucky enough to be born and raised in Belize. I like to consider myself rice and beans, and then tempered in Florida, right? When you're making a sword, or you gotta heat it, and then you gotta bang on it, then you gotta cold it, then you gotta heat it again, and then bang on it. So I've been lucky enough to have that experience in Florida. And you guys know South Florida can be a very interesting. The whole state of Florida is very interesting. I love it. But South Florida is also very interesting. So so I was born and raised in Belize, and then came over here for school and so forth. My wife is also from Belize, and then I got stuck. So I got stuck here in the U.S. So we've been fighting to try to build that bridge, that economical bridge, or that cultural bridge of exchange, where we try to collaborate like you guys too. And it's never a one-way street, right? It's always a two-way street. So we try to make sure that both sides benefit from what we're doing. So it's fun. We're living the dream, man. I came over here, let's say in my late teens, early 20s, for tertiary level, for college, and built a life here in South Florida, and so forth, with it only being like a couple hours away from Belize. So
Easy.
is Texas. We're living the dream. But don't get it twisted. It's hard work, right? But you got to give thanks. You got look at it from the halfway, the cup halfway full rather than halfway empty.
Mhm.
We've been blessed and privileged, especially during these times, that we're healthy, we're alive, we're still kicking, and we get to try and do what we talk about, and you guys actually get to work in paradise, right? You guys work in paradise. Belize is paradise, so
Yes.
yeah. But yeah, happy to be
It's
here.
so It's so spot on. You're like, get to live and work in paradise, right? Because when I was 18, I moved to St. Petersburg, Florida from Washington, D.C. And I thought I was the smartest young lady around to choose to go to college in Florida, because I was like, everyone moves here to retire, right? So I'm already here. And then I went to Belize over 20 years ago, and I'm like, wow, people are going here to retire. So then I moved to Belize, 18 and a half years ago, and I'm like, no, I'm where everybody retires, which is true. And I've seen that over and
Awesome.
over all these years. So I keep moving south, but Belize is as
Keep
south as
moving
I'm
south.
yeah,
Yeah,
Belize is as south as I'm going, because frankly of the family and people, the
correct,
country is very welcoming. It,
correct.
it is it is if you come with an open heart, and you are, Belizeans, I always say, are very good at reading people, right? So if you're an
Mhm.
open book, and
Yeah,
and that's what they're going to read, and people are going to read, you're good. And so
yeah,
I tell people, remember, you bring yourself to Belize. So what are you
right.
bringing?
Yeah, exactly. No, they do pick up, and they do read. They read you very quickly.
Yep.
They size you up real quick.
And
Just
I
like any
question.
Yeah.
I
But
watch it.
you come with very great energy, Margaret. From the first time I met you, um, through our mutual friend Aria. Shout out to Aria Lightfoot in DC, and we took an immediate liking. I learned a lot working with you with the backstory, especially in trying to straighten up the real estate industry and situation down there. So we thank you and your team, and Doug and KW and NAR and BNAR, right? The Belize,
We're
the
trying to put everybody
organization.
together.
Yeah,
We're always
so
stronger together, right?
yeah, it's
we have
best.
this
I always, yeah.
we
Go
have the
ahead.
same goal, right? So,
Yeah,
it's some people you
mm,
break bread with and some you don't, but you
correct,
still have to
correct,
all get along and really
correct,
support each other, right? We have
correct.
to sing kumbaya. It's much better.
That's it.
It's a lot more fun too. Let's be honest.
I like to say one of Belize's favorite pastimes, for our people, for my people community, is to drink and talk. Right, that's one of it. So we're great conversationalists, and that's why a lot of other countries have gravitated to us and so forth. You know, um, but our best resource, other than the natural resources like the blue hole and the land and so forth, is our people. The Belizean people are a genuine set, and a unique set, because we're part of the CARICOM, we're part of the Caribbean community, but we're also part of Central America, with the melting pot of the Hispanic, or Spaniard culture from back in the day with the colony and so forth. So it's some very interesting stories in Belize, and it's like a good blend. It's like that good blend of Scotch or whiskey. I'm telling you,
I love
we
that.
love, yeah, we love our devil soup, spiked water, whatever you want to call it. You know, we love to have a great time. We enjoy life to the fullest, and we love doing it with kindred spirits, with like-minded, like-spirited. We enjoy, but if you come with ill intentions, they'll pick up on that too, and it's thrown back at you, right? So if they know you're coming, you're gonna get what you give out. If you give love, you're gonna get love back. But if it's the opposite, right? Right,
Hey,
Doug?
Michael, I'm glad you mentioned that, right? Because as I come in and people really don't know who I am. Obviously, and I could easily pick up on that there was a
Their
suspicion.
energy.
What
Yeah.
what was what was my intent in being here? And I kind of want to piggyback off of that, because what are some of the biggest mistakes that people make when they come to Belize and try to start a new business?
It's like what Macarena had alluded to a little bit. You gotta come humble. I agree with being conservative. One of the regulatory heads, because we got friends in high places and low places, right? And one of the friends in high places said, I said, how do you do it? How do you get it done? He said, well, Michael, you know what you got to do? You carry a big stick, but you move quietly and humbly, but you're carrying a big stick, but you keep it low. So you come in, another friend, another Belizean, generational, that friend that has created industry in the country. He said, remember, Mike, when you're talking to them, remember to rub their hand, don't pinch it. So I thought that was pretty good. I was like, okay, so you come in gently, you've got, you come in with value and so forth, but you don't try to, because the people are naturally warm and welcoming. And if you come in like that, that's like one of the best approaches to start, of bringing down the barriers, making people feel relaxed, that you're not coming to take over, take their home, kick them out. No, 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 we come in to work with you. We come in to collaborate. So that's the first step. Attitude and approach, right? They say, tell me your attitude determines altitude. So you come in there conservative. You come clear though. You come clear at what you want to get done. And we have another saying in Belize: a quiet baby is rarely fed. Right? So you come up and you speak up. right? You speak up about what you're looking to get done and so forth, and you ask the right questions, but you also try to get with the right people who's going to steer you in the right direction.
Yep.
So
Great advice. And have the wisdom to certainly realize there's a certain way to a path to make it in the country, right? And a lot of that, it comes back to the one word, humble, right? And so I've seen it because we helped lots of people have moved to Belize over the 18 years, right? We've helped them. And I see some of them are like, oh, well, they should do it this way. You know what? Immigration, they should do it this way. Oh, they should do this at the tag department. I'm like, no, they shouldn't. It's Belize. We as Americans don't like when people come in and go, oh, well, they should. No, it's how they do it. So if we want to be there, we accept it, right? In the States, immigration's not easy to get anything done. So in Belize, you can't be like, oh my goodness, they take time. No, they don't. If you're just nice. I have to say, 18 years, I've never had anyone ever be rude to me. That's amazing. 18
knock on wood.
Plus, I have never had anybody be rude, arrogant to me. That's Belizean. You did notice that little caveat, right?
Yeah. Oh, I got it.
so I can only speak what I know 100%, and I know my own experience 100%. So when you're talking about that, it's great advice. I know we're talking about business, but business is everything. Like in other words, if you have a family, you're taking care of yourself, everything, you're engaging in a business. You're going to the grocery store, you're going to immigration, you're going to, get your permits, whatever. It's all doing business.
But people right? People are business.
Absolutely.
Business is actually people. You're dealing with people. So
no business without people on either side.
So so it's great. You go in there, you have a plan, and hopefully you get the proper guidance with your plan. You speak to the right professionals, you get the right perspective, you get the right advice. No, do it this way, because it's all in the structure, it's all in the setup. And me, coming from a legal household, grandfather was Supreme Court judge, dad was one of the top legal minds, created his own law firm and so forth, before he passed away. I got a unique perspective, back door on issues, problems, major issues, especially involving good people like yourselves who come in with good intentions, but from the get-go, they were just set up to they're bound to be issues, right? And that's why you try to get the right professionals for that element of surprise or that foreseeability, right? So for the sake of this conversation with business, like I said, you come in humble, you come in conservative. Don't come in like the big bad, what you got coming behind you. Approach it. So Belize is a long game. It's not a short game. I like to allocate the culture to one of the same commodities that we export, sugar. A lot, that process with molasses, it takes a long time to ferment. That's Belize, right? So we are a product of our environment where, we'll get there, but you got to practice patience, perseverance, don't give up, keep going, but try to be smart, because, let's be realistic. There is a possibility for you to be jammed up or to lose your investment and so forth. But if you do it the right way and you get the right advice and you team up with the right people, then you'll be able to navigate through those mangroves or those weeds and the entanglement. You'll be able to untangle the situation. It just takes a lot of patience and time, and you don't give up. Persistence.
Oh yeah, it is. You are so spot on. That's great advice. Just stay patient. Humble and patient. That's our two words for today, right? Humble and patient. And that's great. If I could tell anybody that they need to listen to one part of this, for sure, that's learning those two words that you just shared.
Yeah.
And I certainly started a business from zero. Didn't come to Belize to start it, but thanks to Daniel Silva, he gave me 21 properties because I thought there was a challenge that I could help maybe do with real estate, coming from a long line of realtors. And literally he's like, here, you're right. Let's go start something different then. And so, in 2004, March 9th, do I remember the day? Sure do. So anyhow, thanks to him ever giving me that opportunity, but having faith that I would do good by it. But now all of a sudden I had a big responsibility. I had to find people that wanted to buy some of these properties, right? So that's a whole different world. So I needed you back then, and I'm so glad people have you now, quite frankly, because, I said, I need two people. I need a very good lawyer and someone that's done real estate that you trust. Correct. And he gave me two people. And those two people helped me in the very beginning. Helped me really learn stuff the right way. And I never thought my U.S. mentality of real estate was going to come into play. I wanted to learn what it was in Belize.
Yeah.
And that was my success.
And those two people are still with you today, right? 18 years later.
So with the two people, one of them was Jerry McDermott, who's gone to his cloud in the sky. And the other one was Lisa Shulman, who's fabulous, right? And so I learned, many years ago, 18 years ago, to get good advice on how things were done, structured, title, all of that stuff that was very important for me to learn, right? But I had to be patient. That probably took me 18 months.
18 months, wow.
Right, but I was diligent to learn it and really take the time.
And how often in that 18 months? How often did you have to follow up, make trips? What was your frequency?
Well, so Skype wasn't so easy, right? So it was more than one visit, I can tell you that for sure. And luckily Jerry came in from the island, and he had a property in Riverwalk, right? Or they still do. So that was helpful, right? Is to get advice and very accessible by the phone. But that's what I'm saying is people watch when you show up. Yeah. Did I want to come in and do something that wasn't a good resonation for the country? No, I came from a different place. Correct. So, I always say good people know good people, and for you, what you're doing really matters. So you have to, when you wake up every morning, you just remember every day what you do matters with you and your wonderful team. Yes, and I've been blessed with your team. Your team is outstanding.
I appreciate that. And I'll pass on your regards and sentiments to them. It's like, you triggered something for me as well, Macarena and Doug. You gotta, when you're positioned, you're looking at Belize, you're dealing with Belize, and then, you gotta turn around and deal with the U.S., your counterpart. And it's two different approaches, two different styles, you know what I'm saying? Like going, dealing with the U.S. and depending on what part of the U.S. you're dealing with, Florida, Texas, New York, California,
DC, they're all
different game. You gotta, you gotta know when to become an animal, and then you gotta know when in the U.S. and you gotta know when to close, and gotta know when to pull back. It's one of my favorite songs, which you guys know, is The Gambler. Right? You got to know when to hold them, know when to hold them, know when to walk away. That's what it is in the U.S., right? And then in Belize, it's a different speed. It's a different finesse. It's a different, so it's an art. And it's great when you're naturally born with that capacity or capability to know how to, turn the knob or turn it up or turn it down. Like you guys do. And that's why you guys have survived both arenas. And then those in Belize will rely on you because you guys can turn around to your U.S. counterparts and attract the right type of potential investors to come in, play well in the sandbox, and so forth. And you guys create your own ecosystem where you came down, you set up shop, and now you have people that trust you from the U.S. You hold their hands and say, hey, okay, this is what I went through. And this is the story, because people love hearing the stories because they try to hear the stories and then they try to relate it back to themselves. right, Doug?
That's a good
No,
point.
I'm living this right now because as I would visit business owners in Belize and offer to do free social media promotion for them, they're kind of taken back by it for a minute. They're like, "Really? Like you're not going to try to sell me anything, or there's some sort of upcharge?" And I'm like, "No, I'm here to build a relationship with
Sure.
you. I'm here to support you because when you do good as a business, we do good as a real estate company. So let's find a way to work together."
Great.
That's true.
Awesome. Awesome.
Again,
That's
no crab in the bucket. We help each other up. We put the hand down to reach people and bring them up, right? Because
yeah,
we're also the people that sometimes need our hand. We need someone to pull us up.
correct.
So, karma occurs,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
You
Yeah.
get to
Yeah.
choose what kind you want. And
That's right.
we like the positive yummy.
That's right. So, so you guys, this is awesome. I'm gonna check out your website, DougIBelize.com, more in depth. Um, and well, with the chamber, what we're doing, because we created the chamber in 2013, so we're coming up on 10 years last year, and we started it it's a nonprofit organization ran by for-profit professionals. And we just thank you, Macarena, for joining us formally and bringing the KW family. And what we do, because we're a small little band, there's only so much we can do in the year or by week. So we have two events that we do. We do the trade mission into Belize, where we take the US into Belize. And then we have the Belize Investment Forum, where we bring Belize to the US, right? So we just did our investment forum in Washington, D.C., which I'm happy to say we're the first country flags to be flown on Capitol Hill at the Florida House. Now, the Florida House, I forget how much years old it is, but it's at least like 140 years old or something like that. We're the first. So we flew the flag, and that was right before the Roe v. Wade decision. So we made it out of there right in time. So we were there, and then that's where we bring the regulators and private sector, the local chamber in Belize Chamber of Commerce and Industry, BCCI. They're 102 years old. Belize is only 41. So you can see, that institution is paramount. So, we bring them because we want to represent both sides, right? The public and the private. So we bring them over, and then they give their perspective, they give information and so forth, up to date, because, things are always changing. And then we turn around and we bring those who are interested on our trade missions, in conjunction with the local chamber in Belize at their annual expo. So this year, their expo turns 26. The same 102-year-old organization, their annual business expo turns 26, and it's always mid-September, and September is our Independence Month, right? So, 4th of July is for the U.S., September 21st, 10th to 21st is for Belize. So we fly right into the middle of that. We have business seminars on the Friday, September 16th, where you get to learn more information, more in-depth information from the horse's mouth, from representatives of the government that will tell you, okay, this is how you do it, and this is what's coming in the pipeline with digitization and all of that stuff, right? I was actually just before I joined you guys, there was a process. They're streamlining how you can register your business electronically through PDF and online, and going through a licensed agent and so forth. So that is actually being launched in November, end of November, right? So they have the different agencies on going through, preparing them for. So you learn when you're on the ground with us at the trade mission, you learn about those initiatives. And then on Saturday with the expo, you actually get to experience it. You get to walk around, feel, touch, taste the culture, the business culture, and so forth. So that is how we designed it. And then we work closely with the U.S. Embassy in Belize. So our U.S. counterparts, you fly into under the cover of the U.S. Embassy, so you get to shake hands with the U.S. representatives in Belize on the ground. And this is all by design. And this is our 6th year doing it, and every time it's fruitful because we take a small band, a group, small group, intimate group, and what we do is we try to make sure that what you want to get out of it, you get out of it, or you get something worthwhile. It's a worthwhile trip. We do allow you to let your hair down a little bit at the end, right? You get to enjoy, you get to, put your feet in the sand if that's what you want to do, or, take or kick back a Pelican bear, or take something cold, pina colada, or I know about this one, Macarena, the panty ripper, right? That's the coconut rum with the pineapple juice. No, it's a drink. It's a drink, Doug.
I love how he says, and about it, Macarena. Oh boy, that's how rumors get started, right?
So do you? I'm sorry, I'm being presumptuous.
No, of course I do. I learned it on my first trip to Belize before I moved.
You learned about the drink.
Yes, and I will tell you, fast forward, when we moved to Belize, my teenage daughter said, "Oh my Lord, the pineapples in Belize are much better than Florida." I said, "That's what happens when you eat something that was freshly taken off as opposed to hothoused, right? Or greenhouse." She was like, but they're much better in Belize. I'm like, "Yes, it's because they're good. The pineapples are good." So she didn't get to have candy rippers though.
Yeah. Well, no, but you're right. You're right. Because with the chamber we have different industry sectors. So agriculture, we found in our experience that the potency from the land is higher than our Caribbean counterparts. So there's something mystical about the land in Belize. To go back to one of the examples that Doug mentioned earlier about those who want to come in and start a farm, right? There's like people who came in and started a coconut farm. Who would have thought, right? True. Right. So the habanero pepper grows with more potency, right? And then to take it on the industrial manufacturer side, the Coca-Cola that you drink is sweeter and stronger.
Yes. So much better. I don't drink Coca-Cola when I'm in the United States. In Belize, I want a Coca-Cola. Completely different product.
Oh my God. It's so good. It's so good. It's not this good back home. I swear.
I don't go. Right on cue.
Doug, you're in Belize?
Yeah, I'm in Belize.
What?
Yeah. I've been in Belize for 5 months now. I'm like a kid in the candy store.
So what I'm talking is not crap, right? It is true, right? Yeah.
Delicious, absolutely delicious. Yeah.
So but yeah, guys. So appreciate it. Please let us know if we can be of any further assistance. I hope that my ranting and raving and feedback actually lent some good perspective in terms of doing business in Belize. Business is people. So as long as you got something good to offer and you're good to the people, they'll be good back to you and they'll be loyal, right? They'll keep coming back.
Look down below. You can see how to contact Mr. Michael Young and his terrific crew, because they really do great things. If you want to do a business in Belize, you really need to make them a point of contact. And it makes a lot of sense. And if you can come in, certainly for the trade event, again, go to the website. You can check out more about that because that's coming up soon.
Yeah, and thank you, Macarena, for your KW team for sponsoring. We just got the word that you guys sponsored the lunch. So it'll be business over lunch, right? So you guys will have an opportunity to talk to the attendees and stuff like that. And congratulations on the AmCham also.
Oh, of course. Right? And again, very collaborative, right? Again, it just shows, we hold hands and we do great things together. Right. We're not. I used to tell agents in Belize many years ago when I was first starting, don't you understand? You're not my competitor. You're my client, because I have a client, I should say, that wants what you've got listed. So we're supposed to like each other and get along, because I need to see that property for my client. I can bring you a buyer.
Right. Pass it on.
understood. They understood. After a while, people began
They
going,
got it.
"Oh, that's true."
Yeah. You pass it on and then it's reciprocated. It's sent back to you. That's how the world works.
People show you who they are. You just got to pay attention, right?
So Doug, enjoy that weather for us, man. How is it? I know it's been raining a lot a few days before.
Yeah, today it's a little cloudy, but we've had some really beautiful days. Been able to go out to Big Rock Falls, been able to do some cave tubing. So the weather's been great. You know, and I'm glad you mentioned that too, because I think when a lot of people come to visit, they see the weather forecast and it's rain every single day. Gosh, it only really maybe rain for an hour or two, and then the rest of the day is clear. So I would encourage anybody, if they're looking to book a trip, you know, Florida is a fun option, but man, once you get to Belize, you might be changing your annual plans each year.
Yeah.
Saying.
You know?
Well, thank you again, Michael. Everybody, I'd like to give them a big round of applause for Michael D. Young, Executive Director of the Belize American Chamber of Commerce. We're so glad that you joined. We appreciate you being here.
Thank you, guys. You guys have a blessed day. I look forward to having that drink with you on the island sometime soon, Doug. Macarena, you already know what time it is. Thank you very much. You guys have a blessed one.
Have a wonderful rest of your day. Enjoy it. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
Of course, honor.
Gosh, I love him. I love him.
I do too. I mean, it's just the passion, and his wonderful wife is a powerhouse. When he says lionesses that are part of the whole group, he's not kidding. Because I know. Well, there's actually Rashima, and there's his wife is powerful. Aria. There's just really neat people doing neat things. And again, collaboratively, we're always stronger together, but it's really fun, frankly, when you can do it with people you honestly like.
Yeah, no kidding. And that brings up an interesting topic as far as real estate agents here in Belize working together, right? And how can we support one another? Because look, if we help market each other's listings, we're going to help our clients get the best possible value, the best possible thing. And somebody asked me the other day, can you help me put together some sort of marketing campaign? And I said, sure. I'll just give it to you. In fact, I'll make it public and I'll share with everybody so they can see what it looks like. And then that way you can decide whether you want to work with our company or not. But by sharing this with you, I hope you realize that these are some of the new and fun things that are available. And I can, Macarena, if you want, I can share that real quickly here if you'd like.
Of course, let's see it.
So I'm gonna go in here and start to share my screen here real quick. And this is on my LinkedIn profile, right? So if you're on LinkedIn, you can search for my name. It's Doug Devitre. And one of the articles that I recently published was how to sell your multi-million-dollar property in Belize. And if you scroll down here, it says here, real estate is different in Belize. There is no MLS. There is no real estate licensing. So you really kind of have to be exceptional at marketing. Otherwise, your property is going to sit on the market for years, and you're going to wonder, well, gosh, and I've already had my dream. I'm going to move on and do something else. So here's just some of the things that I kind of have featured. And again, this is available for anybody to look at. So if you are a real estate agent in Belize and you're saying, well, how can I help my clients? This is for you too, right? So one of the things I recommend doing is just creating a customer profile, right? Each customer is going to have a different reason why they might choose your property. And I think it's important to be able to highlight that, because if you don't articulate, if you don't write that out and articulate in that to match that ideal customer profile, there's a chance you're possibly going to miss it. And I'll kind of scroll through here too. One of the things you can also do is create a PDF presentation using Canva. Now, Canva.com is the the graphic design tool. It's kind of like Photoshop for dummies. Well, you can create a PDF presentation, kind of like a PowerPoint. You can create a flyer. You can create a video. You can create all these different things. And then once you have your presentation, then you can record it as a video to be able to put it up on YouTube. So very similar like this, where I'm kind of on top of the screen here. You can deliver that sales presentation so that when people watch that video, they get more than just the property description, right? They get more than just seeing the pictures. They get a deeper perspective. And as a real estate professional, it's your job to give the interpretation on those photos, and the business case for that. So this is one of the links that's on the I Buy Belize Facebook page. So I'm going to encourage you to take a look at. It's one of these resources that we continuously put out on a regular basis. And if you're thinking, gosh, I'm an agent and I want to, I have a client who's thinking about moving to Belize, what I encourage you to do is go to our website, and on the partnership side, there's an agent referral tab. So when you sign up to become part of our agent referral network, we're going to give you goodies just like we give some of the local businesses here in Belize. So again, these are all just fun things that we're doing to kind of lift up and support one another. I know that Macarena, you've been a tremendous mentor to me here in Belize. We've known each other a long time. It's going to be
we're getting gray hairs together. Come on.
Yeah, look, there wasn't gray hairs when my ATM tour picture.
Or when I first met you in Washington, D.C. No, you had not one gray hair. My God, decades ago. Yeah.
And the first trip, and I don't know if you remember this, the first trip is when we went out to San Pedro and we did the snorkeling with the sharks, and actually had that flip video camera. Do you remember the flip video camera?
I remember that flip camera.
This was so new back then. We did the underwater thing, and then the title of the video on YouTube was Shark Pull My Finger. So we were swimming with the sharks, and I don't know if I do that today. I was a little more brave back then, but we were just having fun. And what was interesting too is then I think, gosh, it said it had several thousands of views to help promote promote your company, and that's just kind of the love we've had for one another. So I'm so glad that we've been able to continue that for so long.
And really, a lot of it goes back to having Michael on is just like top level for me because of what their whole chamber does as far as promoting Belize and abroad, right? And bringing, Belizeans have businesses in Belize that live abroad too, right? And vice versa. So it really helps cross promote everything, right? And we got to get excited about each other's businesses because we're all doing different things, but we can share the information, right? And frankly, even, the 100 things to do you had just shared, right? Or just make it easy and they can contact you and you can take care of it seamlessly. So that's easier. That's what I always say. I always believe in leverage. Let someone that's much better at something do it for you, and then you can, scale. So, like trying to scroll through 20 different websites to look for property and 20 different, Facebook groups to ask questions about moving to Belize. Just deal with one person, one relocation specialist. Why we started, obviously, Keller Williams Belize was to give people one source to get all the right connections in one place, right? Together. The chamber does the same thing. They have the right people to connect you with. That way you can start a business correctly and not have those, oh my Lord, what am I doing moments.
Well, I think what I've tried to do, at least with I Buy Belize in here, is to really like help people first. And I think even like businesses that are starting out, they try to sell their products, they try to sell their services. It's all about me, or even if in real estate, here's my listing, I can help you. Don't talk to them. That just doesn't work. And what I found really interesting, I've grown the page, I think in the last couple of months, or less than that, to 380 people. I haven't spent any money on ads for that. And what's also attracted people to this is on the Facebook groups themselves. I don't even have to give a real estate answer. I just lift and support people in a way that they feel appreciated. I mean, there's, how much does that cost? If somebody's
that goes back to the positive yummy, right? It goes back to the positive if you have true intentions, it shows through. And people can say whatever they want to say because talk is cheap, but black and white doesn't lie. So, in other words, you just show up. You show up who you are over and over, regardless of anything else, and just be who you are. And being confident in that is very powerful. And going back to even the chamber, I know for a fact the people that are involved in that are stellar human beings that care about supporting Belize. And not all of them are even live in Belize. They don't have to live in Belize to support it. They have the Belizean connection somehow, some way. Again, we don't want to go, well, that person's not good or that association's not good. No, we want to support, just like you would share, support each other in positive way. I love the even the videos that you did out on the island of supporting people in business, right? Because you're right. They're like, well, what do I have to pay for it? No, come on. We don't have to pay to have a conversation and just be nice to each other, for goodness sakes. That's free.
I've become, even here in San Ignacio, I've become the guy named Doug, which is like, which I've told is a good thing, right? It could be like, oh, that guy named Doug, but I've become someone who, and that's what I want to be known for, right? I want to be known as somebody who helps one another. So that's the reason why we do this show, right? It doesn't cost anything.
It's who you are, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm so glad we were able to.
It's who you are.
Yeah.
Me too. I'm really excited that Michael was able to make time because I know he's really busy. I know he's got lots of planning. I'm sure that I can only imagine that he's doing with him and his wonderful team to really, scale, the event that's coming up very soon. And great reason for people to come to Belize for that, for sure.
Yeah.
So if you're thinking of business, again, the website was right down below. Don't forget to check it out. You can always contact Doug or I, either one, and we can obviously help you too with any information you need. Where's that clapping hands?
Yeah.
Yay!
I know it's been a treat. So next week, right? Next week we got a good show. We got a good show coming up every Thursday.
We always do.
Every Thursday at 10 a.m. Belize time, 11 Central, noon Eastern. Right?
Yes, you're covering all the time zones, right?
that would go on.
Greenwich Mean Time, Mountain Daylight. Yeah, we have a lot of other time zones, but you know what? You can correlate. Just Google Belize time, and we'll give you the Belize time, and you'll never go wrong with that. 10 a.m.
Take care, everyone.